I have a confession to make, guys. This is a huge confession for me. And to be honest, my ego, I had a little bit of a battle with my ego about this, because I don't feel like my ego wanted me to share this message. It's confessions of fear. Guys, my biggest fear for many years has been public speaking. I avoided it like a plague. I literally avoided it. And this started from high school. I remember thinking, you know, when you have to stand up and do a presentation in front of the classroom, I remember thinking, well, get it over and done with. But thank God I never have to do this again. But as fate would have it, being on this journey, I was called to speak. I've literally turned down interviews. I've said no to different events because I've been afraid. But this is the thing. I did not know that I was afraid. Because the ego can sometimes mask our fears. It had me believing that it wasn't a fear, that I was completely okay with doing it, except I just didn't want to, because it wasn't my thing. It wasn't my cup of tea, you know. There were some people that were great at getting out there and talking, being on camera. That just wasn't me. I preferred to be quietly doing my thing in the background, sharing in a different way, whenever I wanted to, quietly, subtly. And my ego made many excuses. So one, shy, not my thing, you know, introverted. Get this. For years, my biggest excuse was it was my phone. My camera was horrible. All I can tell you, and my lack of knowledge in technology and how to make a video. Oh my goodness, guys, the list went on the reasons why I wasn't sharing. Why I wasn't sharing my visions, my dreams, why I kept on saying no to different talking events, interviews. And don't get me wrong, I have done interviews, I have done different speaking events and seminars. But those times that I did do it, I felt as though I was going to faint. That whole internal combustion thing would arise again. But despite the fear, I still did it. Despite that uncomfortability and that feeling of as though I was going to pass out, I still did the events. This year, something came up. I was offered an opportunity to talk at an event. Now, I said yes, but I started to notice what it was physically doing to me. The apprehension, the nerves, the anxiousness. And this is not even like, I wasn't even talking. This is just thinking about it. All these feelings would come up for me, and I physically felt weak, like I was about to pass out. Now, instead of dismissing it, this time I decided to really look at it. My ego could not mask what I was physically feeling anymore. No more excuses. I needed to know what was going on. I needed to face this fear that I was feeling once and for all, because I felt as though it was really just stopping me from moving forward. It was stopping me from sharing, from growing on a greater scale, because I was afraid. So after feeling the way I was feeling physically, I went home that evening and I looked into the mirror. I remember, guys, this is years of having this uncomfortability and fear around public speaking. I looked into the mirror, I looked into my eyes, to my very soul, to the aspect of me that was afraid. And I spoke to her. And I told her I loved her, that she was enough. She need not fear. And I reminded her that stars were born to shine. And she was a star. And it was time to embrace that light. And so, I did this. I did some mirror work. And that night, something shifted inside of me, and I made a decision that I was not going to let fear control me, limit me, or stop me in any way, shape, or form. Now, I thought I had been conscious when it came to fear, but like I said, sometimes fear is sneaky. Our ego is sneaky in the way it hides our fears. So, yeah, I made a decision, guys, that I had enough of allowing fear to make me physically feel so unwell. I didn't like it. And it set me on a new path of, a path that is filled with greater freedom and more growth. So, I wanted to share this with you all because, fear can be very crippling. It can immobilize us. It limits our potential sometimes in such a clever way that we don't even know. We can't see it. So, so maybe, you could, if you wanted to, you could ask yourself, what is it you fear? What are you afraid of? Truthfully afraid of. No masks. No pretenses. What are you truly afraid of? What's stopping you from truly shining your magnificent light? And I don't want to say this on camera, but it's the case of, I don't know, I haven't done that many videos, but it's fuck fear, right? Are we going to let fear control us? Or are we going to push ahead despite those fears, and are we going to shine our light fearlessly? All right, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to sharing with you all soon.